to manipulate a list. The objectives of this lesson are to learn how to replace an item in a list, and also learn how to slice a list. To replace an item in a list, simply put the element that you would like to change on the left-hand side of an equal sign and assign a new value to it. Here is an example. In the first line of this example, I have created a list with 5 elements. In the second line, I am replacing the value of 4.5, which is a float, with dog, which is a string. Also notice that the index of element 4.5 is 3 because the indexes start from 0. Now if I print my list, you will see that 4.5 is replaced by dog. Let me show you all of this using the IDLE. Here I am creating a list called myList. As soon as I hit return, Python creates a list. To refresh your memory, let me use the analogy of boxes that I used before. The list that I just created can be thought of as 5 side-by-side boxes. The content of the first box is hello, which is a string. The next box is 2.3, which is a float. The next box is 8. The next box is 4.5, and the last box is cat. Note that the indexes start from index 0 on the left and increase from left to right. Also remember that negative index starts from the right with index -1 and go from right to left. Now, when I type the statement myList square bracket 3 equal sign dog, Python replaces the value of the box with the index 3 with the value of dog. Notice that the value of 4.5 will be overwritten and it is gone forever. Now let's talk about how to slice a list. Single indexing allows you to refer to one item. However, slicing allows you to extract or refer to a section of the list, like slicing a cake. To slice a list, use 2 indexes and separate them by colon. Put the list name, you put the start index and colon and end index. Here is an example. Again, I created my list with 5 elements, and then I'm going to extract a section of it, which is slicing from 1:3. And the new value of the list would be 2.3 and 8. It is very important that you note that slicing begins at the start index, but it only goes to the end index -1. In other words, the end index will not be included in the result. For example, when you write this statement, myList square bracket 1:3 and close the square bracket, the index starts from 1 and only goes to 2 because 3 itself is not included. Please remember this point and practice the fact that the end index is not included in the slicing. This causes headache for programmers who are not used to this fact. I understand that you may ask yourself why the designer of Python decided to start the indexes from 0 and also not include the end index. It looks very strange and unusual. However, as you go along and write more programs, you will see that it has its own advantages. Slicing is a very important concept in Python, and to make sure that it is clear, let me use the Python IDLE and the box analogy to re-emphasize the concept. When I type new list equal sign myList open bracket 1:3, the first thing that Python does is to evaluate the right hand side of the equal sign. In this case, the right hand side of the equal sign is asking Python to extract elements 1 and 2, and I repeat, not element 3, just elements 1 and 2 of the list and make a copy of it. Then assign this new list to a new variable called new list. And of course, when printed, it shows the new value of the new list, which are 2.3 and 8. Again, notice that the element 2.3 has the index of 1, so Python makes a copy of it, and the element with the index of 2 has the value of 8. Now Python makes a copy of both and creates a list. Now we have a list with two elements, which is 2.3 and 8, and this new list will be assigned to the left-hand side of the equation. Here is another example. If I say new list 1 is element 0 to 2, of course, what happens, Python again selects element 0 and element 1 and creates a new list, which in this case, of course, is hello and 2.3. So what did you learn in this lesson? You learned how to replace an element of a list, and also you learned how to slice a list.